talk about November. Okay, so November using energy is the period from the 7th of November to the 5th of December 2020. You would have heard in last month's podcast that October and November's energy so closely aligned. So what I'm about to say, a lot of it will sound a lot like last month's, but there is a lot of different content, etc. And actually, the energy of the month is very, very powerful. Remember, because if you know how people are feeling or what's going on for them or feels important, etc., then when you reach out on social media, when you send out your email newsletters, when you're talking to your clients in session or you're making a sale, you know that these are areas you absolutely must cover off, because there's nothing more exciting for people than when they feel truly heard and connected with. So when I'm giving you this information, remember it's around you. It's the energy that's in the air or the atmosphere all the time over that period of time. And the 7th of November to the 5th of December 2021. And so think about how it might be applying to, all these different situations that you're involved in, the work that you're doing, the tasks in front of you, the people that you're interacting with. It's it's a powerful energy of being in relation to others. Okay, so these are partners you're collaborating with, affiliates, groups, meetings on or offline, customers, new people you're selling to, people you're buying from, suppliers. The list is endless. Any people, including yourself. Go at it from a very heart-based space, because it's a heart-based energy around you, which means being authentic. It means heart-based is stuff like fun, warm, sense of humor, a giving that's kind of almost homely, right? Like there's the giving that's here you go, please sign here, sir, versus here you go, I'm so happy to do business with you. It makes me really happy to think that you're going to benefit from this, especially your little girl. You hear the difference. One is very professional, the other is not that it's less professional, it's more the person. Kurly is showing up, connecting with the person Inga, or the person you watching this, right? And that's the difference. Introduce humor, the lighter touch, and just enjoy the process, And remember, if we're talking about being in relation with others, then marketing. November is another marketing month. And, when your audience is feeling like this, very heart-based and open to others and stuff like that, this is a forgiving audience. This is the time for you to try new things, and be open and honest about it. If you were to post onto Facebook or Insta or somewhere like that, listen, guys, I really want to try something new out. It's very, very exciting for you and for me, it's also incredibly scary. Can you show up at 8 p.m. on Tuesday? I'd be so grateful, and I think you're going to be really pleasantly surprised. Gulp. You put on a message like that, I pretty much guarantee you everybody's going to be so curious, have FOMO, want to help you, etc., that a big majority will show up. And when they show up, they will show up in a really open way, and you can try it out. You can even ask for feedback, and you can develop your visibility to such an extent. You could literally end up the other side of this month, November, with a whole gamut and array of new things that you've never tried. And, look, if you share it amongst each other and the feedback and the new things that you've tried in the posts below with myself and Inga, because we're dying to know what you try and how it goes, and to give you some some feedback ourselves if there's something else that we can offer. But also maybe Inga can then maybe put something together, or just on the posting, you can see what's working for other people around specific types of services or products. And then you can be inspired to try them yourself. Because let's be really honest, it takes confidence to try something new, especially with an existing audience or even with a new one sometimes. And, all sorts of fears can show up: losing people, clients, or personal vulnerabilities, etc. And you guys can really support each other through this. It could be exceptional and explosive what you guys come up with as a group, right? And then the other thing is, obviously, we have cash in the energy for the whole of the month again. So if you were a little bit slow, or you just didn't feel brave enough, don't you worry. Don't give yourself a hard time, especially if you see other people posting that they did try things and it worked and stuff. Because this is the great thing about being human, isn't it? This is a very heart-based thing to say as well, by the way. The thing about being human is, doesn't matter what you've done yesterday, you can do something new today. Doesn't matter how you felt yesterday, today is a new day. And if you really feel that you're not brave, you can always reach out to somebody else in this group and say, listen, I really don't feel brave enough to do a Facebook Live myself, or this kind of gathering, or that kind of, tone of event, that maybe we could do something together. And I would feel supported, and my group would open up to you, and vice versa. There'll be a real win-win, right? Remember, you've got a really forgiving audience. But a heart-based audience is not only forgiving, it's really exciting because they're open. They're open. That means they're ready and they're willing. They just need to hear the right things. They just need to be engaged in the right way. They just need you to help them feel better about the purchase. Don't ever forget about, we buy with emotion, right? So don't, when you're talking to people and you're selling something to them, check in regularly. How does this sound? How do you feel about this? Does this sound exciting? Does this sound like something that you would want? Oh, no, really, which bit about it? Speak into that. Don't be afraid to using feelings, words, and conversations. Very, very powerful, especially with cash. Okay, so let's move on to the practical stuff with November. The Feng Shui for November is a completely new area, one that I haven't talked to you about before. It's really, really exciting. In fact, there might even be part of you that's wondering, Curly Whirly, why didn't you introduce this to us before? But remember, I'm introducing things to you when the energy is in flow with that area, right? So it's easier to work with and get the real right vibration out of it for you, your business, whatever you're doing at that time. The Northeast is a powerful area. It is the area that connects to your inner self. Oh my gosh, right? This is the place where your thoughts reside and are generated. Your clarity of mind, this is where your emotional stability comes from. It's good decision making, it's sound leadership, it's the ability to remain consistent and in action, it's motivation. Oh my God, the list is endless, right? How you feel and show up in the world, how able you feel to do things, bravery, courage, risk taking. It's so long, the list. So you want to come back to your compass, which might look like this wonderful device, right? Your phone, and find the Northeast. In this particular case, I would say definitely look for it in your home, okay? And then definitely look for it in your office too. If you have ended up working from home because of this unusual situation in the world, you don't actually have a dedicated office then, and you just have a desk in in the corner of a room or something, because that's the capability right now. Start off with your desk and the northeast of your desk. Okay, it sounds really small, but remember, small things create big effects. Okay, think of a big lake and you with a pebble, you drop it into the lake, a still lake, and you can literally see the ripples going outwards, right? And they travel so far and they're visible, they're real. That is how energy waves travel, off in every direction. And that's why the microcosm works as powerfully as the macrocosm. So the small step also has a powerful effect, just as the big step does. Obviously, use this one if you can, but if you can't, start off with this. So with the northeast, here's what you're going to do. You are going to very first of all, make sure that there is nothing in that area that you no longer need or that you haven't used in a while. Okay. And do this because it's like breaking up with somebody. Let's say you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend and you broke up with them, but you decided you would still hold them in your heart purposefully, not because you are having difficulty letting go of them, right? And that forever forwards in your life, you're going to continue holding them in your heart. You'll continue talking about them in conversations, in your thoughts, etc., etc., etc. We all know that's unhealthy. None of us question the health of letting go of an ex-partner. Yes, you can transition to a different relationship, but you still have to let go of that other relationship fully, right? Nobody questions that. But then when it comes to stuff in our wardrobe or on our desk, and by the way, I have to hold up my hand here. And even though you're watching this and I can't see you, right, or we're not in the same space live, I want you to just take a second and put your hand up if you have things in your home that you no longer need, right? Because I do. And I regularly still find things that I don't need. Because what it does, you see, is it hangs around in your space like old baggage, emotionally hangs around in you, right? And so just like your space around you is a reflection of what's inside you, okay? None of us need to be a Feng Shui master to know when we're in the house of a really seriously depressed person, right? None of us do. We just know because dishes all over the place, a mess, it has a dense energy, it feels stuck and blocked and heavy. And the same thing, right? So what we're doing here is we're saying, okay, this part of your home connects with your inner being, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do that in the reverse. We're going to deal with the space outside in order to influence the space inside. And it's a very powerful thing to do, incredibly powerful, in fact, which is why I always clear my desk at the end of the day. And at the start of the day, I always decide to look at what am I going to look at today, because I'll make a list of everything so it's out of my head. I'm going to give you an additional tip on how to be focused. Other things that you need to look out for in the Northeast. Is there paperwork relating to matters that are unresolved or that are closed and completed still hanging around that doesn't need to be there? So I'm thinking of people who are academically minded, for example, that might just build up paperwork in a corner and then deal with it once a year, for example, right? Well, your peripheral vision is constantly connecting with that. And it's filling in space that could actually be coming up with all sorts of clarity, making you feel good, etc. Right? Another thing, this is so simple, you're going to want to laugh out loud. This particular tip or question. When you go into the Northeast, does it feel nice? It's so obvious, right? You almost might want to say, well, Kurly, you don't need to come and tell us that. But actually, have you noticed how often We overcomplicate things, and the most simplest things are the most powerful. I've always found this, right? So when you go into the northeast, does it feel nice to be in that area? Does it feel crowded or overwhelmed or anything else that does not feel nice? If so, deal with it. Deal with it. It will pay dividends. You'll be so grateful, because there's nothing more important than your inner self, basically. It's your control room. It drives everything. It's your engine. It's your life force, your vitality, everything. And then another question, is the area spacious? Is there good light? Or is it airy? Does it feel good to breathe in, or does it feel dark and dense and heavy? If that's the case, again, deal with it. These things are imperative. I can't emphasize them enough. What you want to end up with, here's what you're aiming for, because I've talked about the negative things through the questions. What you're aiming for is an area that's spacious, light, airy, fun to be in, stimulating, and without anything unnecessary in it, basically. If it makes you feel good to be in that area, that's what it's going to be. That's how it's going to be influencing inside of you. And if, by the way, you're wondering, well, how can a particular space in my house relate to a particular part of me? Well, imagine that's the sole of my foot. Reflexologists would look at that and say, okay, your lungs are here, your heart is here, your intestines here, and they literally change how your organs are, and they map it out on the soles of your feet, your whole body. Well, this is what we can do in Feng Shui. That's how the Northeast relates to you. It's really, really powerful, so important. And not just for you. If you have children, this is also influencing them. If you have a husband or a wife or a partner, it's influencing them, parents, pets even, okay? And then I guess the other thing I want to talk to you about is, this is a really good area from which you can instigate some powerful conversations. What do I mean by that? I'm not just talking about sitting in the area, because that's one thing I've already talked about in previous podcasts. You can sit in an area and work from it. That's how you use it, okay? And it's not just sitting there doing nothing. It's the thing that you do from that space that activates the energy in the direction of that goal or that activity, right? Using intention powerfully. So always, before you do anything, decide, this is what this is going to, like this morning, I decided I am going to buy a car, and it will be one I love, and it'll be a great deal, right? And I've said this on a previous podcast, there are actual physics experiments that prove that intention has a tangible effect on the outcome of something out here in real life on matter, actual experiments that scientists have done. To use that amazing gift of intention. It's so easy to access, isn't it? Now, if you find that the energy in the area is dense or heavy and dark feeling or thick atmosphere, what a really good way to break it up is to introduce a plant into that space. But just remember, you will have to take good care of it, okay? A living, healthy plant introduces living, healthy energy. A dying, unhappy plant is sending out negative energy, basically, okay? And we want to be good to our plants as well, don't we? So instigating powerful conversations from the area could be like sales conversations. They could be, basically, remember, when you're feeling good inside, it's really easy to connect with people, to get them on side, get them enthused, because you're so enthused. And then, don't be surprised if you don't even end up having, before you get to the point where you say, would you like to buy this? They might say, you know what, I love it. Yes. How do I get this? And you'll be thinking, this has sold itself today. And these are the sorts of conversations you want. Let's be really, really honest, right? So that pretty much is what I have for you for November. But before I finish, remember, Cash month means you have to actually ask for the cash. You need to reach out for it in order to receive it. So don't forget to ask for the money. Don't forget to ask for the sale. Don't forget, don't be afraid.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kurly. And you can learn more about energy of cash if you watch the previous videos for months of October. All the links are below. So if it's the first time you come across our video series, please feel free to look at the links below. And these are video series. We've created videos for August. If you are in November now, probably there is no point in watching a video about the August, but come back to the very first video where we explain how this energy works and how Feng Shui works in your business and home environment. So to sum up, month of November, which is still cash, and I think it's such a good assurance that October, November, 2 months before Christmas time, we have an opportunity to generate extra cash. And what I want to highlight from what you shared across these 2 months, it's not about generating money, but it's being ready to receive. It's about your relationships with yourself, with money, is how you feel about money. It's an indicator. So if you keep avoiding money, then money will avoid you. Imagine it like a relationship with a person. If somebody wants to shower you with the gift, surprises you all the time, a person, right, wants to spend a lot of time with you, and you just keep saying, no, I have no time for it. No, I'm not ready. Or it's too good to be true. That person eventually stop approaching you, stop pursuing you. The same will be energy with money. If you're not open to it, it will leave you.
Yes, perfectly said, Inga. Thank you.
The task for you today, just a reminder, in the comments below, please post what is the new things that you're going to try this month. If you watch it way before November, make a note in your calendar that you need to try new thing in November, and come back and report, and let's share what is happening in November for you.